Hey everybody, it's Joanna. I did have a request for a video, which I do get from time to time, and this was Hope. She is on my YouTube and she asked me to do a video on basically why Scorpios meet such difficult people, and it is true. There's a lot of competitiveness and jealousy around Scorpios all the time. And she was telling me, I think she has her sun in Scorpio, but she also has her Mars in Scorpio too. So I am going to go through the personal planets and explain to the best of my ability as an astrologer why this is. Of course, I just made somebody so mad because like he found my channel and he was so bent out of shape, like so inflamed because I said that I'm a triple Scorpio, and he said I was very narcissistic for letting my viewers know that I'm a triple Scorpio, and that something really incoherent that I don't need to tell him because his Libra likes his Scorpio. You guys, I don't know. It was wicked, didn't make sense, but I do want to clarify. I do talk about Scorpio a lot because I get a lot of requests about Scorpio because, as you guys know, over here in the West, I'm a triple Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Mars, rising, more than triple really, North Node, Uranus. Over in the East, I'm a Libra, triple Libra, but my ruling planet, because astrology is complicated, is the ruler of the ascendant is Venus over there. Venus is my ruler, and over there I have Venus and Scorpio. So if you guys study Eastern astrology too, you're going to see that even though you might be a Libra, depending on degree, you're going to have kind of a flavor, a vibe between both charts. They're just different. You know, in the East, they work with nakshatras, and it's different. It's more ancient. Ours is more modern, but I like to, I don't consider myself an Eastern astrologer. I just study it though. So I like to kind of combine the both when I do my own work as much as I can, as I continue to learn throughout my whole life. And that's what I will do as long as I live. I'll continue to study and research astrology because you never stop learning. But just to clarify, that is why I talk about Scorpio a lot. It's not because I'm a narcissist, like he said, because you guys know I am one, you know, over here, and even in the East, it's my ruling sign, because even though I got all that Libra, and I love Libra, so there's nothing wrong being a Libra, I do have a Scorpio flavor. Let's go ahead and talk about why Scorpio meets difficult people. You know, Scorpio has such a bad reputation, but from what I've seen from people I've known that have been Scorpios, it's not that they're bad people. It's a lot of times they meet a lot of people. So part of the challenge here with a Scorpio in your life is to not become jaded, suspicious, paranoid, closed off because you meet so many bad people. You've dealt with so much competition, so much jealousy from others, you know, all that kind of stuff, because that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn and to use our energy in the best way possible. So, Sun in Scorpio. Over here in the West, we go by the sun. It's paternal. It's the father. That's how we go in the West. In the East, the moon is more important. But over here in the West, the sun. That's why everybody says, oh, what's your sign? Meaning your sun sign. They're not asking what your moon sign is over here in the West. But, you know, unless you're more into astrology. But, or where's your Mercury? Or where's your Venus? You know, they're always asking the sun. So that's the father. So that's the ego. So a lot of times I think, you know, people, just because they're a Scorpio sun, they're not going to really, like, necessarily as much as other things come across. You're not going to be like, oh, that's a Scorpio. But I have seen people that come across as a Scorpio, way more Scorpio than me, that have just a Scorpio sun and other things going on in other places. But the ego, so the Scorpio's ego is big. It is. It's like a Leo. It's big. But the thing is that sometimes people around them, even though a Scorpio can be nice and kind and, you know, not bragging, because I mean, nobody wants to be around a bragger or somebody that's always cutting people down, or, you know, I mean, that's just negative energy. Just who needs those people? But if it's just a normal Scorpio person, like a lot of times I will see them get a lot of jealousy, and it's because some people, not all, but some really resent their self-confidence. So it's not that they're coming across as egotistical, but they'll twist everything into them being egotistical because, you know, they can almost feel that vibe. Scorpio is a very powerful sign. It's the sign of death and rebirth and extremes. So they can feel that. It's also an intuitive sign. So a lot of times Scorpios, subconsciously, you are very, very aware that you don't trust somebody or you don't like their vibe. And if they're even a little bit intuitive, they can pick up on it too. And then that's when the problems start, because you can kind of just call them before without even knowing that you're doing it. That's how the whole psychic thing is. You can kind of feel it before you even know that you're feeling it. It's just a vibe that you're getting. Scorpio ascendant, you know, in astrology, we say that people turn into their ascendant. So, you know, and it's really true, because what it is with the Scorpio rising person is that life experiences, meaning people they meet in adulthood, you know, especially, you know, around the age of 30 or whatever, turn you into that Scorpio, because you just start not trusting people because you meet the worst of the worst sometimes. I'm in a little bit of an unusual business, so I'm, you know, might meet even more eccentric people, but the amount of jealousy that you can get makes you kind of be closed off to other people. And this is a challenge, you guys, because we're not supposed to be closed off. We are supposed to be discerning. So if you are a Scorpio rising, there is nothing wrong with being like, hey, my gut's telling me to back off this one, stay away. Jealous people are just there's nothing wrong with not associating with them. I really don't think there is. You're not here to be abused and little digs made and, you know, lies made about you behind your back. People are jealous of Scorpio risings because, again, there's an underlying power and energy that sometimes Scorpios don't even realize they have. When they walk in a room, they don't have to be the best looking, they don't have to be the smartest, they don't have to be the funniest, they get attention. It's an energy, it's an electromagnetic field similar to like a Uranian. Uranus is exalted in the sign Scorpio. So other people pick it, some people are drawn to it if they like that high energy, some people are repulsed by it or scared of it, or I have to try to destroy it and tell lies about it. But Scorpio risings, you guys, seriously, there is nothing wrong with being erring on the side of caution, but just remember that not everybody is bad just because you met a few bad ones along the way. I think as we all get older, just in general, we get less open, you know, it's just human nature. So that's something that you find, especially with Scorpio risings, even if they're a sweet little Pisces sun or whatever, Scorpio rising, after a certain age, you kind of start to be like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of do my own thing. You know what I mean? Don't give anybody too much ammunition, right? So Scorpio moon has a really bad reputation over here in the West because it is in its fall and it is intense. So here's the problem with Scorpio moon, and this is seriously what's up, you guys. You will take a grudge and you will never let go. And so, and I know it's hard because I get it, and I'm probably making this guy mad again because I have a Scorpio moon. He's probably like, oh my gosh, she's such a narcissist watching this. But anyways, I do, and I can tell you from experience, I've said in other videos, man, I'm in my late 40s now. I have a lot of grudges over 47 years, you know what I mean? And sometimes I forget why I don't even like people, because like I gotta let some go I know new ones are coming. I gotta make room for the new ones. The problem with this is we get all like wrapped up and riled up and these like, you're like, oh my gosh, you think about something somebody did, whatever. But it's kind of stupid in a way, because all you're doing is like, you're just like letting all this like negativity out without even realizing it. Like, and I have to really work on this myself. Like, I'm always like, okay, stop thinking about whatever. It's just because honest to God, like it's like every other week somebody pisses me off. You know what I mean? So imagine if I live another 30 years, like it's going to go on and on like this forever. And that's the challenge with Scorpio moon. We are extremists emotionally. So without realizing it, see, Scorpio is very 8th house. It's ruled by the 8th house. There's something subconscious about the Scorpio. We don't realize somehow how we come across. We don't realize, you know, my mom's a Scorpio. People have always been scared of her. She's got like really blue eyes. Like she doesn't realize why, but they're always like, oh, no. She's a Leo rising too. So it's like double trouble, like, you know, as far as the power thing goes. So, and a Leo moon. So, but she doesn't realize that she comes across intimidating, even though she's tiny. But she does sometimes. She comes across as intimidating and people don't realize it. People will see somebody who's independent, and I wouldn't even say the word self-confident, but maybe just kind of like, because Scorpios don't care that much what people think. That's the thing. I'm personally very drawn to those types of people. I don't like people who are always worried about, what do they think of me? I'm not saying going around being a nasty person, nobody likes them. But if you're so insecure as a grown-up, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so nervous to talk to a stranger or something. No, I can't hang with that. You know, like confidence is attractive. It's sexy. People that are jealous don't like it though. Even though you may not feel like you're that great, but you're just kind of like, hey, I am what I am. People that are jealous don't like it. This is why Scorpios have a lot of problems with jealous people. They don't like that. They want you to feel insecure because they're insecure and misery loves company. That's just the way it is. With some types, Stronger people aren't like that. You're not going to find that jealousy with them. They're very live and let live, and hey, do your thing. I'll help you out. You help me out. Let's just all be happy. Mercury and Scorpio. These people are straight up investigators. I have, you know, my dad is Mercury and Scorpio. They can find out anything. They will get, because Mercury is what we think, they just get jealousy because a lot of times they're super smart too, Mercury and Scorpio. And I don't have Mercury and Scorpio. I have Mercury and Libra. So I'm not trying to compliment myself. But Mercury and Scorpio people can be really, really intelligent, and they can get to the bottom of everything. So a lot of times, like, they can be very successful too in life, and they'll get jealousy because of that, their mental capacity, their just basically who they are, their quick wit, their stuff like that. And they get that jealousy, but they truly think like a Scorpio. So a lot of times people with Mercury and Scorpio, and they can be any sun sign, any rising sign, whatever, they to me seem like Scorpios, because Mercury is so important in the chart with how we come across and how we communicate and stuff. Venus and Scorpio, I mean, let's just face it, like, they're just really attractive. They just are. I have known people with Venus and Scorpio. They can be a little possessive sometimes though, and they attract jealousy, especially in romantic relationships. You know, the best way to deal with this placement is just to be really, really loyal to whoever you're with, honestly. Like, that's because I knew one, and you know, since I have so much Scorpio, I'm attracted to people with a lot of Scorpio. As a woman with Scorpio, I got Mars in Scorpio, so I'm attracted to like Scorpio type people. But sometimes because they get attention just naturally, because they're just these kind of people that people just like, it's kind of hard for them to, like, I'm not going to say be loyal, because they're not always not loyal, but it's a little bit difficult for them sometimes to, like, not kind of relish in that attention. Do you know what I mean? They kind of like that attention. And that makes other people jealous, because they just get jealous because you're getting too much attention. You know what I mean? And I'm not in any way, you guys, saying minimize yourself because other people are jealous. Quite the opposite. But I do want people to understand, like, basically why Scorpios deal with such difficult, jealous people. And the only thing is to still be nice to these people, but just get away from them. Honestly, that's really my only advice, because I'm not enlightened enough, honestly, to tell you how to deal with destructive, jealous people that tell lies about you and make up stories and stuff like that. I am not there yet in my journey on this planet, and that's just the honest to God truth. So what I do is I get rid of them. I just walk away from them, and I just don't deal with them at all. So you guys with a strong Scorpio in the chart, stelliums in Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, Mars, Venus in Scorpio, or lots of planets in the 8th house, you got to be really discerning about who you associate with, who you give your information to. If you have a gut feeling, odds are you're pretty intuitive, and you're going to be right. Just don't take it to a level of paranoia, because us Scorpios do that too. We can take things a little bit too far. We're the sign of extremes, and then you start just not trusting anybody. You know, it's like everybody that gives you a compliment, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. What do you want? You know, I am not easily swayed, and I'm sure a lot of you guys aren't either. When somebody is nice, I'm like, oh, that's great, but what do they want? You know what I mean? I'm just not that easily flattered in life, and I'm very suspicious, and that's because I'm a Scorpio rising, and I have had experiences. I have. So anyways, I hope this answered. Of course, you guys, if you ever want me to do a video on something specific in astrology, feel free to write down there. And like I had said before, I don't always get those messages on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I do. I happen to get hopes. But you can always email me through my website if you would like me to talk about a certain topic. So this is all about the challenge of being a Scorpio. Until next time, bye.